everyone, my name is Sarah and today I bring you another video of sewing my Pinterest board, but this time for fall. In this one, I'll be making two projects. The first project is going to be inspired by this very long knit dress that has ties on the back. I've been loving this kind of detail with ties on the back. In the last episode, I made two tops, actually three. Now that I'm thinking about it, the dress also had ties on the back. So this is clearly something that I'm loving right now, but I haven't done this in knit projects, so I am excited to try it. The pattern that I'm going to be using for this one is the Hazel dress by Dressmaking Amore. This dress is very similar to the inspiration image, but it's a little bit shorter and it has a v-neck instead of a round neck. So I'm going to be altering the pattern a little bit. I'm going to be changing the v-neck neckline to a round one because I don't really like that kind of v-neck on me. So I'll try to change that. I don't think it will be too difficult, but I'll show you how I do it. The rest of the pattern I'll keep the same, even though it's a little bit shorter and the bell sleeves aren't as big as the inspiration image. I will keep the rest the same because I actually prefer the size of the bell sleeves on the Hazel dress. So if I like this pattern, I'll probably be making more of them. Last year I made the Ruby dress by Dressmaking Amore and I loved it so much that I made another one, and honestly I'll probably do another one this year, but I wanted to try a different one this time and I really wanted the tie on the back. But honestly I think this Hazel dress in a short length would be really cute. So if this works well, I can see myself using this pattern a lot. For this one I chose this cozy knit fabric. This is a viscose polyester blend. I think it's like viscose polyester and polyamide if I saw that correctly, and it's very soft, so I think it'll be very comfortable, and it's not too thin either, so I think it'll be good for both fall and winter. The second project is going to be a two-piece set, and it's one that I've been wanting to do for a while. I want to make a Chanel inspired two-piece set and I want to make it in pink. I got this pink tweed fabric in Paris back in April, and I got this fabric thinking I wanted to make this set, but I waited to make it now when the weather was a little bit cooler because I wasn't going to wear it anyway before and I had other projects I wanted to make, but now it's finally the time and I think it's going to be very cute. This is pink, but it also has a little bit of gold in between. I think it's very beautiful. I will try to show you a close-up of what it looks like. I have been a little bit nervous about using this fabric because I can't really wash it. I tried to wash a sample and it didn't look as good as before, so I think I'll only be able to dry clean it, but I don't really know how you should pre-treat this kind of fabric. I'm still learning, so I guess I will learn along the way. For this project I'm going to be using two other patterns by Dressmaking Amore, and I swear I didn't do this on purpose. I realized I did the same thing in my first video. In the other one I only used patterns from Caroline Street, and in this one I'm only using patterns from Dressmaking Amore, but it's not really on purpose. I basically just really like these designers, and apparently each season I prefer a new designer. I don't know. But anyway, the patterns I'm going to be using are the Gabby jacket and the Jenny skirt. I have already used the Gabby jacket once and I really like it. Let me just go grab it to show you. So this is the first Gabby jacket that I made, and I made the cropped version. I used this checked fabric and I used the pink lining on the inside. I honestly don't really like this lining, but I really like this jacket, but I will change it a little bit this time around. This one has a little bit too much fabric on the back for my personal taste. It is a little bit loose, so I think I will change the back a little bit and just take it in right here. I don't know if this is the right way to do it or if I should take it in on the sides, but that's what I'm planning on doing. When I made this one, I also made it as a two-piece set, but the Jenny skirt wasn't available yet, so I just made this little pencil skirt, but it's a little bit too tight, and honestly I think this time I want to try the Jenny skirt because it has a different shape and I think it looks very cute with the Gabby jacket. So that's the plan for the tweed one. So those are the plans for this video. Now let's get started with the first one. I printed the pattern, but I haven't cut it yet because I am going to adjust the neckline. This is the front piece, and as you can see the neckline is a v-neck because that's the design, but I want to try and make a round neckline, so I'm going to be using this curved ruler to draw the new neckline. I'm not sure where exactly I want my neckline, so I think I'm going to draw multiple options and cut the biggest one, and then if I want the neckline lower I will just cut the next one over. So I'm thinking of making a few different options and trying them on my body and see which one I prefer. So I'm gonna make one maybe here. The line would need to be a little bit more curved, but I'm just trying to place these and see exactly how I want it. Basically I just made these two lines. I'm going to cut this one first and see how this looks, and then if I need a little bit more then I'll cut this one. I've sewn the front and back pieces together and I've attached the tie on the back, but I think it looks a little bit too bulky, to be honest. I think it's because the fabric is quite thick, so the seam allowance inside makes it quite bulky, but I don't really know what to do. I don't know if I should just leave it as is or if I should try to cut the seam allowance to make it less bulky. I don't know if that would fix it, but I think I'm gonna try it like this and sew the rest of the dress, and if I feel like the ties need to be changed, I will just seam rip this and just change the ties. So I think that's the plan for now. I'm just going to sew the other side together and then attach the sleeves, and then the dress will be pretty much done. The neckline looks like this right now. As you can see, it is quite rounded. I don't know if I like it. I need to sew the shoulders before I try it on. I just tried the dress on and it's not done yet. It still needs to have the neckline binding and I still need to fix a few things. But I have to say, I really like how it's turning out. It's so comfortable. This fabric was definitely a good choice. Although I have to say, I think I chose a fabric that's a little bit too stretchy and I should have sized down because the pieces turned out super big. For example, these sleeves, I cut 2.5 centimeters off of the sleeves on the pattern because my fabric shrunk in the wash, and I think you can see that the sleeves are still pretty long. This was originally 2.5 centimeters longer, so I think this is very big. Also, the dress itself right now is floor length. The only thing that I'm going to be changing is the side seam because it has a little bit too much fabric, so I'm going to change this side seam a little bit. The dress is now finished. I really love it. It's very comfortable. I think the neckline sort of worked. It is a little bit loose here on the front, but I think it looks good anyway and I really like it. It ended up being quite long. It's pretty much floor length, which ended up working because that's what the inspiration picture looked like anyway, so that's what I wanted. I have to say the adjustment that I did on the side seams ended up working very well. I do feel like it fits me a lot better now, but yeah, if I make this pattern again with this kind of fabric, I will definitely size down. So project number 1 is done. Let's see the result. Moving on to project number 2, that is the tweed set. I'm going to start with the skirt because that's going to be the quickest one to make and I kind of want to start wearing it. So I'm going to start with that and then I will make the jacket afterwards. I did decide to pre-wash the fabric. I mean, I didn't put it in a washing machine or anything. I just soaked it in water. This was a tip that I saw online to leave this kind of fabric under water for 4 hours. But yeah, now it's time to cut the fabric and make this skirt. The skirt is nearly finished. I've put the facing on and it already has the zipper as well. I think this part looks really good. I really like the technique that was used on the zipper. I followed the instructions exactly and it worked really well. So I'm quite happy to have learned a new technique. I think it turned out really beautiful. But I just wanted to mention that I was originally going to use the tweed fabric for the facing, but it was a little bit too bulky and I'm glad I didn't. I just used the same fabric as the lining but with interfacing, so that it's a little bit more stable, and I think it actually works very well because it's not bulky at all. Since it's top stitched, you can't see it from the right side, so there's no issue there. But yeah, the skirt is now almost done. All I have to do now is finish the lining and then attach it to the skirt and obviously make the hem. I'm working on the jacket now and I've already cut the pattern pieces, but I accidentally deleted the footage of when I was cutting these pattern pieces out. So I'm just going to explain the changes that I made to the back piece because this is the only piece that I actually changed. I did cut a little bit of the back out, but every other piece I cut exactly according to the pattern, so no changes there. But the back piece, I did take it in a little bit on the center seam. So I took 2 centimeters out here on the back piece, but I left the top part of the center back exactly as it was. So I just made a line connecting the top of the center back to the new marking, and basically it created something like this, and then I just transferred it to this other piece where I added the seam allowance. But the thing is, while I was cutting this out, I was explaining that I didn't know if I should take it in on the back seam or on the center seam. I was really struggling with this decision because the grain line is right here, but the grain line was not parallel to the center back. It is a little bit slanted. I already have sewn the center back piece, and this this was also some of the footage that I accidentally deleted. But I think this looks okay. I mean, the lines are kind of going towards the center back here on the bottom where I reduced it, but I think it's not a big deal. I think it looks quite okay, and I think the lines also are matching, so I am happy with this. I think this will look good, and I don't think it's going to be a big problem that I reduced it a little bit over here. But I don't know, let me know what you think, or if you think I should have reduced it on the side seam. But yeah, now I need to move on to the other fabric pieces. I need to serge them and start sewing them together. The tweed set, and I really love how it turned out. I'm gonna start off with the skirt, and this was a very simple project to make. It was very quick actually, and I learned a new technique to install the zipper on the back, which I really like. I used a lighter fabric for the facings, and it worked out really well. I think this is a very good pattern for beginners because it has the option to have the skirt lined or unlined. I decided to do the lined version because I feel like it looks a little bit more finished this way, but if you don't want to line it, you don't have to. There is an option to just do the facings, and I really like the explanation of how to install the invisible zipper. So if you're looking for a pattern for a skirt like this, I highly recommend this one, and I just think the result is super cute. I was a little bit intimidated to work with tweed, but it turns out it's not that hard. I think I was a little bit worried that the fabric would start fraying, but it didn't really happen. I did interface the entire jacket, but I did not interface the skirt, and it wasn't really an issue. I haven't washed this yet, so I don't know how it will hold up after washing, but at least for now it looks really good, and I'm really happy. The jacket is obviously more complex, but I am so happy with this one. I changed the pattern a little bit, so this one does not have that much fabric on the back. I took 4 centimeters out of the center back, and honestly I'm really glad I did that because the first jacket that I made was a little bit too loose, so I do like the fit of this one quite a lot better, and I really like this fabric for this kind of a jacket. I think it looks really good. Like I said, for this one I interfaced the entire piece of fabric, and I do think it makes a difference. I think the fabric is a lot more stable. The only thing that I'm a little bit unsure about this jacket is that I used viscose fabric for the lining because that's the fabric that I had. I never know what kind of fabric to use for lining for jackets. I don't really like the lining that I used for my first jacket, so I decided to do viscose for this one. I feel like it's comfortable, but I really don't know if it's the most appropriate one because it wrinkles a lot. I don't know if I will like how it looks like inside. This one I would say it's maybe not so much for beginners, but it's not a hard jacket to do at all. This is the only jacket pattern that I have done, and it doesn't really have a zipper or anything that's like too complex. I think the most complex thing about this pattern is attaching the lining. That's always the part that's a little bit tricky for me, but everything else it's quite simple, and overall I'm really happy with how this turned out. And that's it for project number 2, so let's see the review. For today's video. It's actually almost winter now, but luckily these pieces can be worn also in winter. Like in the last video, these projects did take me a little bit longer than I thought, but I'm really happy I made them, and I know I'll get a lot of use out of them. But yeah, I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!